For thousands of years, ancient civilizations built monuments that defy explanation, structures so massive, so precise, that even modern engineers struggle to understand how they were created. Who built them? How did they do it? And most puzzling of all, why? Despite our advancements in technology, there remain mysteries science cannot explain, lost knowledge, impossible artifacts, and whispers of something beyond human understanding. Tonight, we embark on a journey to uncover the greatest ancient mysteries that continue to baffle experts. For over 4,000 years, the Great Pyramids of Giza have stood as silent sentinels of time. Rising from the sands of Egypt, they challenge our understanding of ancient engineering, mathematics, and even human history itself. How did an ancient civilization, armed with only primitive tools, construct one of the most precise and enduring structures on Earth? Tonight, we journey into the heart of this enigma to uncover the secrets of the Great Pyramids of Giza. The Great Pyramid of Giza, also known as the Pyramid of Khufu, was once covered in polished white Tura limestone. It reflected the sun's light so brilliantly that it could be seen from miles away. Today, its weathered core remains, yet the precision of its construction continues to defy modern explanations. The Great Pyramid stood at an original height of 146.6 meters. For over 3,800 years, it remained the tallest man-made structure on Earth. The level of precision in its design is extraordinary. The base is almost perfectly square. Its orientation aligned to the cardinal directions, with an accuracy of less than 1/15 of a degree. Even with today's advanced technology, replicating such precision on this scale would be a monumental challenge. How could an ancient civilization achieve such mathematical perfection without modern surveying tools? Was it merely trial and error, or did the builders of the pyramid possess knowledge that has since been lost to time? Some researchers believe the answer lies in the stars. The layout of the three main pyramids at Giza aligns strikingly with the three stars of Orion's belt. This correlation, first proposed by Robert Bauval in the 1980s, suggests that the pyramids were not just tombs, but a celestial map guiding the pharaoh's soul to the afterlife. The precision of the pyramid's alignment with Orion's belt is remarkable. We know that many ancient cultures had advanced knowledge of the stars, but this level of correlation suggests something far more intentional. But if the pyramids were designed as a cosmic blueprint, how did the ancient Egyptians achieve such astronomical precision? Some theorists suggest an even more astonishing possibility, that this knowledge was passed down from a civilization far older than we currently recognize. The tools available during Khufu's reign included copper chisels, wooden mallets, and rope. Yet, the massive blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons, were cut, shaped, and transported with a precision that modern engineers struggle to replicate. We've tried. Various experiments have attempted to recreate the cutting and transportation methods, using the tools believed to have been available at the time. The results? Underwhelming. Even with teams of workers, copper tools quickly dull, and moving such immense stones without sophisticated pulleys or cranes seems almost impossible. Several theories have been proposed: ramp systems, counterweights, even an internal spiral ramp concealed within the pyramid itself. But none fully explain how such precision was achieved on this scale. Could the answer lie in a forgotten technology, lost to history? Beyond the architectural mysteries, there are other anomalies that raise further questions. The inventory stela, found near the Sphinx, suggests that the Great Pyramid may have been built on the foundations of a far older structure. Some alternative historians argue this could push the pyramid's origins back thousands of years earlier than mainstream archaeology suggests. Could the Great Pyramid be the legacy of an unknown, advanced civilization? Some even suggest that the knowledge required to build it was not of this earth. Many ancient cultures speak of knowledge handed down by divine beings or celestial visitors. While mainstream scholars dismiss such claims, we cannot ignore that the pyramid's construction challenges the conventional narrative of history. The Great Pyramid of Giza remains an enigma, one that challenges our understanding of ancient history, engineering, and human potential. Was it simply a magnificent tomb, or does it hold a deeper, forgotten truth? Perhaps, as we continue to explore and unlock the secrets of the past, the answers will finally reveal themselves. The Lost City of Atlantis. For centuries, the legend of Atlantis has captivated the imagination of historians, explorers, and philosophers. A fabled civilization of immense wealth and power, a utopia of unparalleled beauty, a kingdom swallowed by the sea in a single catastrophic event. But was Atlantis merely a myth? A story woven into the fabric of history by the ancient philosopher Plato? Or was it something more, an echo of a forgotten world, lost beneath the waves, waiting to be rediscovered? The tale of Atlantis begins over 2,400 years ago, when the great Greek philosopher Plato wrote of a mighty empire beyond the Pillars of Hercules, the modern-day Strait of Gibraltar. In his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, he described a civilization unlike any other, a sprawling metropolis, its streets paved with orichalcum, a metal more valuable than gold, towering palaces and magnificent temples adorned with intricate carvings, their columns rising high into the sky, gleaming under the sun. At the heart of Atlantis stood the grand temple of Poseidon, the god of the sea, enshrined within concentric rings of water and land. These great circular canals, meticulously engineered, cradled a city teeming with life. Merchants filled the markets with exotic goods. Scholars debated the mysteries of the cosmos. Warriors stood guard over an empire that stretched across vast oceans. Yet for all its power, Atlantis was not destined to last. In a single cataclysmic night, the earth trembled. The oceans rose. The great city was consumed by the sea. A punishment from the gods. A reckoning for their hubris. A moment when nature reclaimed what mankind had built. But was Atlantis real? Or was it merely a parable? A lesson in the dangers of pride and excess? For centuries, scholars debated the origins of Plato's tale. Some dismissed it as fiction, an allegory meant to illustrate the consequences of a civilization consumed by greed and arrogance. Others believed it was a memory of a real city, distorted through time, its details lost to the sands of history. Yet, throughout the ages, whispers of a lost civilization persisted. Ancient texts from Egypt, Mesopotamia, and even the Americas spoke of a great flood, a city swallowed by the sea, a civilization lost to time. Could these stories all stem from the same forgotten past? In the 20th and 21st centuries, the quest for Atlantis became more than just a philosophical debate. Archaeologists, oceanographers, and historians began to search for clues in some of the most remote corners of the world. They scoured the depths of the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, and the coastlines of South America, hoping to find traces of an advanced society long submerged beneath the waves. One of the most compelling theories places Atlantis in the Mediterranean, near the island of Santorini. Nearly 3,600 years ago, a thriving civilization known as the Minoans built magnificent cities on the island of Crete and the surrounding Aegean islands. They were master sailors, skilled engineers, and artists of remarkable talent. They erected grand palaces, constructed elaborate drainage systems, and developed an advanced writing system, one that still puzzles scholars today. But then, disaster struck. A massive volcanic eruption, one of the most powerful in recorded history, obliterated the island of Santorini. A towering column of ash and smoke blackened the sky. The earth trembled with the fury of the explosion. An enormous tsunami raced across the sea, engulfing coastal cities in its wake. The once great Minoan civilization never fully recovered. Could this have been the inspiration for Atlantis? A thriving empire suddenly and violently destroyed by a natural catastrophe? The timeline aligns eerily well with Plato's account. an ancient city swallowed by the sea. Yet others argue that Atlantis was not in the Mediterranean at all. Some believe its remains lie in the depths of the Atlantic Ocean itself. Off the coast of Bimini, in the Bahamas, divers discovered an enigmatic formation beneath the water. Massive rectangular stones, arranged in a pattern eerily reminiscent of a road or a man-made structure. The so-called Bimini Road fueled speculation that the remains of Atlantis could be hiding beneath the tropical waters of the Caribbean. Could Atlantis have been a lost civilization that thrived in the Americas before recorded history? Some believe the Mayan and Aztec civilizations may hold the key. Their grand cities and mysterious origins hint at a past far older than we assume. Yet another theory suggests that Atlantis was not merely one place, but many. Throughout history, countless civilizations have vanished without a trace. Cities swallowed by the jungle, lost beneath the sands of the desert, consumed by the sea. Could Atlantis have been a collective memory of these lost worlds? A tale passed down from generation to generation, each retelling shaping it into the legend we know today? And what if the truth is even stranger than we imagine? Some researchers have proposed that Atlantis was not just a city, but an entirely different kind of civilization, one that predates human history as we know it. They point to mysterious structures found deep under the ocean, impossible artifacts that seem far too advanced for their time. Ancient maps, like the Piri Reis map, depict continents in extraordinary detail, suggesting that an advanced culture may have had knowledge of the world long before modern history records. There are whispers of lost technologies, ancient power sources, knowledge that defies explanation. Some claim that Atlantis possessed energy systems far beyond our understanding, capable of harnessing the natural forces of the Earth itself. Could the fabled orichalcum, the legendary metal of Atlantis, have been more than just a symbol of wealth? Could it have been a lost technology, a material with properties we have yet to rediscover? In recent years, scientists and geologists have turned their attention to Antarctica, a frozen continent that, millions of years ago, was once a lush green land. Satellite imagery has revealed bizarre formations buried beneath the ice, structures that some claim resemble ancient ruins. Could Atlantis have been located here before a shift in the Earth's climate buried it beneath miles of snow and ice? As we unravel the mystery of Atlantis, one thing becomes clear. We have only begun to scratch the surface of our planet's hidden past. From the sunken ruins off the coast of India to the submerged megaliths of Japan's Yonaguni Monument, evidence continues to emerge of civilizations that may have existed long before our recorded history. And if Atlantis was real, if a great civilization did once thrive before being lost to catastrophe, what does that mean for us? Could history repeat itself? Are we doomed to follow the same path? To rise and fall like those before us? The search for Atlantis is more than just a hunt for a lost city. It is a journey into the unknown, a quest to uncover the secrets of our past, and perhaps to learn the lessons that history has tried to teach us. For now, Atlantis remains an enigma, a whisper in the depths of time. But as technology advances, as exploration continues, we may one day unlock the truth. And when that day comes, we may finally answer the question that has haunted humanity for millennia. Did Atlantis ever really exist? Or is it still waiting to be found? The Moai statues of Easter Island. Easter Island, one of the most remote inhabited places on Earth. A speck of land in the vast Pacific Ocean, thousands of miles from the nearest continental coast. A place of mystery, a land of legends. It is here, on this windswept island, that one of the world's greatest enigmas stands silent and unyielding. The Moai statues, towering stone figures carved from volcanic rock, standing with their backs to the ocean, gazing inland as if watching over the island. Who built them? Why? And how did an isolated civilization create and move these massive monuments using nothing but primitive tools? The mystery of the Moai begins with the Rapa Nui people, The original inhabitants of Easter Island anthropologists believe they arrived around 1200 AD, sailing thousands of miles across open ocean. Guided only by the stars and the rhythms of the waves, they were master navigators, following secrets passed down through generations, a lost art of wayfinding that modern science still struggles to fully comprehend. And yet, despite their remarkable seafaring skills, what they built on the island would defy explanation for centuries. The Moai statues, some as tall as 30 feet and weighing more than 70 tons, were carved from compressed volcanic ash at a site known as Rano Raraku, the island's main quarry. Hundreds of these stone giants were painstakingly sculpted, each with unique features: elongated noses, broad brows, deep-set eyes, as if capturing the spirits of ancient ancestors. But how did the Rapa Nui carve them with such precision using only stone tools? And more importantly, how did they transport them, sometimes across great distances, to their final resting places? These resting places, known as ahu, are ceremonial platforms scattered across the island. For centuries, the question of movement baffled historians. Some believed the statues were dragged on wooden sleds. Others theorized they were rolled on logs. Some suggested they were pulled using ropes. But the truth may be even stranger. According to oral traditions passed down through generations of the Rapa Nui people, the Moai statues didn't need to be dragged or carried. They walked, a walking statue. The idea sounds impossible, and yet, in recent years, researchers have tested this theory. Using a system of ropes and a carefully coordinated team, they discovered that, indeed, the statues could be made to sway side to side, mimicking a walking motion. It is now believed that the Moai were carefully walked to their locations, an astonishing feat of balance, coordination, and human ingenuity. But even if this explains the movement, the question remains: why were they built in the first place? To understand the Moai, we must look deeper into the spiritual and cultural beliefs of the Rapa Nui people. The Moai were not merely statues. They were more than stone. To the Rapa Nui, they were living embodiments of their ancestors, powerful guardians of their people. Each one represented a chieftain or an important figure from their history, imbued with a mystical force known as mana, a spiritual energy believed to protect the island and its inhabitants. But if the Moai were protectors, why do so many of them now lie face down, broken and abandoned? What caused their downfall? The story of Easter Island is not just a tale of creation, but of collapse. At its peak, the island was home to thousands of people, a thriving society that built grand monuments to its ancestors. But something went terribly wrong. The forest that once covered Easter Island disappeared. The trees were cut down for reasons that still fuel debate. Some theories suggest the Rapa Nui used the wood to transport the Moai, leading to widespread deforestation. Others believe the introduction of rats, brought by early settlers, contributed to the destruction of the trees by eating the seeds of the island's palm trees. Whatever the cause, the result was devastating. Without trees, the soil eroded, crops failed, resources dwindled. The islanders, once united in building the Moai, turned against each other. Rival clans toppled the statues of their enemies, breaking them as a symbol of power. By the time Europeans arrived in the 18th century, the once great civilization had collapsed, reduced to a shadow of its former self. Yet, despite its decline, Easter Island never lost its mystery. Over the years, explorers and scientists have uncovered even more secrets. Beneath the visible heads of the Moai, excavations have revealed that many of the statues have full bodies buried beneath the earth, hidden from view for centuries. Strange petroglyphs, symbols carved into the stones, suggest deeper meanings. Perhaps records of forgotten knowledge or messages from the past that we have yet to decipher. And then, there is the greatest mystery of all, the Birdman cult. Long after the Moai were abandoned, a new tradition arose on the island, centered around an annual competition. The island's strongest warriors would scale down treacherous cliffs. They would swim across shark-infested waters to an islet and retrieve the first egg of the sooty tern, a bird that nested on the rocky outcrop. The winner became the Birdman, a leader with divine authority for the year. What led to this shift? Why did the islanders turn away from their ancient Moai and embrace a new spiritual practice? Some believe it was a response to ecological collapse, a desperate attempt to find new meaning in a world that had fallen apart. Others think it was a return to older traditions, predating the Moai themselves. Easter Island is a place where history and legend blur, a land where towering stone figures stand as silent witnesses to a lost civilization. Science has answered some questions: how they were carved, how they were moved. But the deeper mysteries remain. Why did the Rapa Nui choose to dedicate so much effort to these statues? Did they truly believe the Moai possessed power? And if they did, what happened when that power failed them? Even today, as researchers uncover new findings, Easter Island refuses to give up all its secrets. The Moai, standing against the winds of time, continue to watch over the island, their expressions unreadable, their purpose still uncertain. They are symbols of human ambition and ingenuity, but also of fragility, a reminder that even the greatest civilizations can rise and fall. Perhaps that is the ultimate message of the Moai, not just a connection to the past, but a warning for the future, a testament to what humanity can achieve, but also what it can lose. And so they stand, immovable and eternal, gazing inland, as if watching, waiting, holding within them the untold stories of a civilization lost to time. Deep in the heart of Lebanon, nestled within the ancient ruins of Baalbek, lies one of the most perplexing enigmas of the ancient world. Towering above the landscape, buried beneath layers of dust and time, are stones of such sheer size and weight that they seem to defy the very limits of human engineering. These stones, massive monoliths of limestone, some weighing up to 1,200 tons, stand as silent sentinels to a past that modern science struggles to explain. The question echoes through time, unanswered and unresolved. Who moved these stones? How did they do it? And most importantly, why? The site of Baalbek has long been shrouded in mystery. Known in antiquity as Heliopolis, the city of the sun, it was revered by the Greeks, Romans, and Phoenicians alike. Its colossal structures dedicated to Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury are among the grandest of the Roman Empire. But long before Rome's dominance, long before the Greeks set their gaze upon its wonders, Baalbek was already a place of deep significance. Its origins fade into the mists of prehistory. At the core of this ancient complex lies the Trilithon, three of the largest stones ever incorporated into a man-made structure. Each of these behemoths, hewn from solid limestone, stretches over 19 meters in length and weighs an estimated 800 tons. That's as much as 3 fully loaded Boeing 747s. They rest upon an even older foundation, an arrangement of precisely cut blocks so enormous that they push the boundaries of what we believe ancient civilizations were capable of achieving. To move such stones today, even with modern cranes and heavy machinery, would be an arduous, nearly impossible task. Yet, thousands of years ago, at a time when history tells us that only primitive tools and manual labor were available, these monolithic blocks were somehow quarried, transported, and lifted into place with absolute precision. The nearby quarry, just a short distance from the temple complex, offers an even greater mystery: the stone of the pregnant woman. This 1,000-ton monolith remains partially buried, abandoned mid-extraction, as though the builders had been forced to abandon their efforts. And yet, as staggering as its size may be, it is not the largest stone at Baalbek. In recent years, archaeologists have uncovered another limestone block, even larger, buried beneath centuries of sediment. A 1,200-ton stone, the largest ever discovered from antiquity. The logistics of moving such stones boggles the mind. The Romans, who built the Grand Temple of Jupiter upon these megalithic foundations, were masters of engineering. They constructed aqueducts, roads, and amphitheaters that still stand today, feats of architecture that continue to inspire awe. But even the might of Rome, armed with cranes, pulleys, and an advanced understanding of leverage, pales in comparison to the sheer scale of Baalbek's earliest stones. Could the Romans have moved them? If so, why do we find no records, no inscriptions, no documentation of this undertaking? The Romans were meticulous in recording their achievements, yet nowhere in their writings do we find mention of transporting such unimaginable weights. Instead, what we find are only echoes, hints that the site was already ancient when Rome arrived. This begs the question: was Baalbek built upon the ruins of an even older, forgotten civilization? Some historians suggest that the massive stones could have been dragged by thousands of workers using wooden rollers, ropes, and sheer human strength. But this theory quickly unravels under scrutiny. The limestone blocks, so dense and immense, would have crushed wooden supports under their sheer weight. The idea of coordinating thousands of laborers in perfect synchronization to move these stones even a few meters, let alone transport them across uneven terrain, stretches the limits of credibility. Others propose the use of earthen ramps, built over long distances to gradually elevate the stones to their final positions. But again, the scale of such an endeavor would be unprecedented, requiring vast resources and engineering capabilities far beyond what is believed to have existed in the ancient world. And so the mystery deepens. As archaeologists and engineers continue to study the site, alternative theories have emerged. Some are conventional, others controversial. Among them, whispers of lost technologies, forgotten methods of construction, and even more speculative ideas that venture into the realm of the unknown. One of the most intriguing proposals suggests that ancient civilizations may have possessed a now lost form of acoustic levitation, a technique in which sound frequencies were used to manipulate gravitational forces, allowing heavy objects to be moved effortlessly. While this idea remains speculative, legends and ancient texts from around the world describe stones being lifted as if weightless, moved through the air with the aid of sound. Could Baalbek's megaliths be evidence of a technology far older than Rome, Greece, or even the known civilizations of Mesopotamia? Some researchers point to myths and oral traditions that speak of divine or celestial intervention. The Phoenicians, who once inhabited this region, believed that Baalbek was the dwelling place of the gods, a sacred site imbued with supernatural power. In later traditions, it was said to have been built by giants, beings of extraordinary strength who predated human civilization. Even in more modern interpretations, the site has been linked to ancient astronaut theories, suggesting that advanced beings, perhaps from beyond our world, may have played a role in its construction. While mainstream archaeologists dismiss such claims, the sheer scale of the mystery remains undeniable. If we strip away speculation and focus solely on the tangible, we are left with an inescapable truth. These stones exist. They were moved. They were placed with astonishing precision. And we do not fully understand how. The enigma of Baalbek is not just a question of engineering. It is a window into a forgotten past, a past that challenges our understanding of history. If an unknown civilization once had the means to move stones of such incredible size, what else might they have known? What other knowledge has been lost to time? Perhaps one day, excavations will uncover the missing pieces of this puzzle. Perhaps, hidden beneath the ruins, buried deep within the earth, lies evidence of a civilization capable of feats beyond our current comprehension. Until that day comes, the Baalbek megaliths remain an unsolved riddle, a silent testament to an age long gone, an era whose secrets continue to elude us. For now, science can offer theories, but no definitive answers. The great stones of Baalbek stand as they have for millennia, watching, waiting, defying explanation. And as long as they remain, so too does the question: who built them, and how? Ancient UFO depictions in art and texts. Across the vast timeline of human history, countless civilizations have left behind records of their experiences, etched into stone, painted onto temple walls, and transcribed into ancient texts. These records, however, do not merely recount tales of kings, wars, and gods. They speak of something far more mysterious: enigmatic objects in the sky, strange celestial beings, and encounters that defy conventional understanding in nearly every corner of the world, from the deep jungles of Central America to the frozen landscapes of Siberia, from the deserts of Egypt to the remote monasteries of Tibet. There exists a singular thread woven through human history: depictions of unidentified flying objects, figures descending from the heavens, and encounters with beings that do not belong to the earthly realm. The evidence is overwhelming. The questions they raise are profound. What did our ancestors witness in the skies? Who were the beings they described? And most importantly, were these mere myths and allegories? Or did ancient humanity document real encounters with something beyond our world? The cave paintings of prehistoric encounters, the first traces of unexplained aerial phenomena, appear not in written records, but in the prehistoric canvases of early humans across multiple continents. Ancient cave paintings depict mysterious objects hovering in the sky, often accompanied by humanoid figures with elongated heads, large eyes, and otherworldly features. In the Val Camonica region of Italy, a UNESCO World Heritage Site reveals rock carvings that date back to at least 10,000 BCE. Among the intricate depictions of hunting scenes and tribal rituals, there are unmistakable figures wearing what appear to be helmets, with circular objects floating above them. The shapes resemble what modern society might describe as astronauts, complete with what seem to be suits and visors. Similarly, in the caves of Tassili Najar, deep within the Sahara Desert, vast murals from nearly 8,000 years ago depict enigmatic beings with large, bulbous heads, enormous almond-shaped eyes, and elongated limbs. Some figures appear to be floating, while others seem to be inside disc-like craft. The paintings, stretching across the cavernous walls, show these beings interacting with human figures, pointing towards the heavens, guiding them, or even seemingly bestowing gifts of knowledge. What inspired these prehistoric artists? Were they merely expressions of imagination, or were they painting something they had seen with their own eyes? The Vimana, flying chariots of the gods. From the depths of history emerges one of the most astonishing accounts of ancient aerial technology. The Vimanas of Hindu mythology. In the sacred texts of India, dating back over 4,000 years, there are descriptions of flying chariots, some described as circular or disc-like, others resembling grand temples soaring through the heavens. The Mahabharata and the Ramayana, two of the most revered Hindu epics, provide detailed narratives of these extraordinary vehicles. They describe Vimanas that could move as swiftly as thought, rising effortlessly into the sky, maneuvering in all directions, and even engaging in aerial battles with weapons of terrifying power. One passage from the Mahabharata states, "And the great Vimana rose with a roar, lighting up the sky like the sun. It moved like a comet, a great fireball blazing across the heavens, striking terror into all who witnessed its flight." Another passage describes a celestial battle between powerful beings, where beams of light, resembling lightning, struck down warriors below. Some scholars have pointed to these descriptions as eerily similar to modern-day aerial combat and advanced weaponry. Could these Vimanas have been more than mythology? Were they accounts of advanced technology lost to time? Or were they misunderstood descriptions of extraterrestrial encounters? Even more astonishing are the ancient Sanskrit texts, such as the Vaimanika Shastra, which provide detailed technical specifications of Vimanas, including propulsion systems, aerodynamics, and materials used in their construction. Some researchers believe these descriptions suggest knowledge far ahead of their time, almost as if the authors were documenting technology they had either witnessed or had access to. The Nazca Lines, A Message to the Stars. In the arid plains of southern Peru lies one of the most baffling mysteries of the ancient world, the Nazca Lines, carved into the desert floor. These enormous geoglyphs stretch for miles, depicting animals, humanoid figures, and perfectly stry. The Voynich Manuscript. A book no one can read. Deep within Yale University's Beinecke Rare Book and Manuscript Library lies a book that has defied understanding for centuries. A book filled with secrets, a book that no one can read. Discovered in 1912 by rare book dealer Wilfred Voynich, this ancient manuscript has baffled scholars ever since. Its pages are covered in flowing script, written in a language that no one has ever seen before. The parchment is fragile, yet incredibly well preserved. It dates back to the 15th century. Every page is adorned with strange illustrations. Plants that do not exist, astrological diagrams that do not match our sky. Naked women immersed in pools of liquid, connected by a network of tubes. It is a puzzle without a key. The manuscript appears to be scientific, or perhaps medical, but it does not fit into any known field of study. Its botanical drawings do not match any recorded plant species. Its star charts do not align with any known constellations. The human figures seem engaged in ritualistic activities, their purpose lost to time. For over a century, the brightest minds have tried to decode its message. Linguists have searched for patterns. Cryptographers, including World War II codebreakers, have analyzed its symbols. Even artificial intelligence has examined every letter, every mark. Yet, the book remains silent. Some believe it is written in an elaborate cipher, hiding knowledge meant only for a select few. Others think it is a lost language, the last trace of an erased civilization. And then, there are the more mysterious theories. Some whisper that the Voynich manuscript is not of this earth, that it contains knowledge given to humanity by an unknown intelligence. Could the plants within its pages be from another world? Could the astrological diagrams map a sky we have never seen? Others speculate that the book was written by a genius ahead of their time. Could it be the work of Leonardo da Vinci, the philosopher Roger Bacon, or the scholar John Dee, who sought to communicate with angels? No evidence points to any known author. One of its most unsettling features is its depiction of women. Dozens of figures, submerged in liquid, connected by a network of tubes. Some believe it represents early medical knowledge. Others see something more mystical. Perhaps the most astonishing revelation about the Voynich manuscript comes not from its contents, but from its material. Radiocarbon dating places its creation between 1404 and 1438, yet no historical records mention it. There is no evidence of anyone trying to decode it before the 20th century. It is as if the book appeared from nowhere. Some believe it was hidden, its knowledge too dangerous to share. If so, why was it found? Why did it resurface in an era where even technology has failed to unlock its secrets? Even recent attempts at deciphering have failed. In 2019, a researcher claimed to have cracked part of the code. They suggested it was written in an extinct Romance language, but like all theories before it, this one was met with doubt. The text refuses to be understood. The Voynich manuscript reminds us that not all mysteries can be solved, that some secrets remain beyond our reach. Perhaps one day the code will be broken. Perhaps its meaning will be revealed. Or perhaps it was never meant to be understood. Perhaps its secrets are destined to remain forever locked within its pages, an eternal whisper from the past, speaking in a language no one can hear. Across the world, from the towering pyramids of Giza to the submerged ruins that hint at lost civilizations, the echoes of our ancestors whisper a truth we have yet to fully comprehend. The past is not as simple as we once believed. It is complex, layered, and filled with riddles that defy modern science. How did the ancients achieve mathematical precision without advanced tools? What lost knowledge was used to transport massive stones across impossible distances? Why do ancient texts describe technologies that should not have existed? And most hauntingly, what else has been forgotten? The pyramids, the Moai statues Göbekli Tepe, Baalbek, Sacsayhuaman. Each of these marvels stands as a silent testament to a deeper understanding of the world, a knowledge that we, in our modern age, have yet to reclaim. The Antikythera Mechanism, a relic of a forgotten genius, challenges everything we assumed about ancient science. The Nazca Lines stretch across the desert like messages for an unseen watcher, their purpose still unknown. And within the cryptic pages of the Voynich Manuscript, a language long lost remains undeciphered, as if guarding a secret not meant for us. Ancient prophecies, celestial alignments, myths passed down through generations. Are they remnants of forgotten wisdom or mere coincidence? The question remains, were our ancestors more advanced than we ever imagined? For every mystery we attempt to solve, new ones emerge. Every answer leads to deeper questions. And despite our advances in technology, there are still places where history remains untouched. Secrets hidden beneath the earth, buried beneath the ocean, waiting, watching. Perhaps the past is not lost. Perhaps it is only waiting for the right moment to be rediscovered. And when that moment comes, will we be ready? Or will we, like those who came before us, become yet another mystery left for future generations to solve? The truth is out there, in stone, in scripture, in the stars themselves, and one day we may finally understand it. Until then, the search continues.